side of Evie. He's going to play the Urgot this time around, so Gangplank in Meta's past, definitely a champion that people want to try to shut down, want to try to counter, don't want to see him scale. But this time around, we are going to see the Urgot in response, and we'll see if Evie has any chance up there in the top lane.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting matchup there.
And some mid-game prowess from Detonation Focus Me as we are heading on to the Rift here. And let's see if we can see a scratch in the armor here, perhaps. DFM coming off of a huge win over C9. And DAMWON, of course, not losing a game just yet. But guys, send us your tweets using Verizon 5G All Chat, and you could have a chance to be featured on the broadcast. We can get your tweet up here on the screen and listen to whatever thoughts you have. So please go ahead and do join us, guys.
Say anything, be honest. Okay, Khan here actually kind of caught in an awkward spot.
Oh, he's going to get flipped too. This is really awkward, and he's going to have to flash here at level 1. Evie thinking about getting in there as well, but that's just going to be a really nice mini win there over to the side of DFM.
Yeah, I mean, this is the stage of the game where you just don't want to get chain CC together. Getting the flip there very early, and that's a summoner spell down here for Khan that's going to really limit his options in the early game. So great proactive play from DFM to set this up, and I'm really excited to see how Steel performs here, because, you know, there are ways to really threaten Showmaker here when you have this Zoe pick. You head asleep, you have the follow-up stun, and there's a lot of ways to really put that kill pressure on, get a flash early, for example, if Showmaker does get caught by those bubbles. So this is the mid and jungle combo that I think a lot of people are zoomed in on for Detonation Focus Me right now, because they're a duo that has looked good so far. And, you know, Arya, a fairly newer player to, you know, international stages, and oh boy, Khan once again.
It's a bit of a fun time so far, I have to say, for Evie, getting that support before the minions even spawned, and now he's getting into the face of Khan. Generally, the GP would love to just parlay you, shoot you in the face a bunch of times, and have a bunch of fun like that. But he's not really going to have that opportunity here in the early levels because of the way that lane has gone. Lots of trading as well down in the bottom side. Pretty interesting to see this duo. Of course, Udapon has been around forever, it feels like, and Kazu, who used to be the coach, and now he's like in here in the support role. Really cool stuff to see him playing so well. Even got a ban on his set.
Yeah.
And is certainly a great player in his own right.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that you love to see, right? As a team who are actually in the face of adversity, right? The import issues that Shox was talking about earlier, still slots this coach in. He performs insanely well. I mean, that's extremely rare at this level of play. Steel is looking for this timing here to come in.
And this is the thing about Morgane. She always tries to group these two up and generally doesn't get punished unless the Udyr can come in here and make things awkward. That's going to be a reset here on the blue. Priority on mid isn't looking too good here for DAMWON, and Steel is still in the face of Canyon, who's going to get that root down. Evie going to be the first one to rotate up, or rather down, from the top lane. And this is just making life hard for Canyon, although he has been able to avoid any deaths or any critical damage to himself so far.
Yeah, just understanding that timing. Remember, Khan is flashless, by the way, right now, hiding in this brush.
Okay, he's going to get that movement speed. The flash comes in, and no orange is available. This could just be first blood. Do they have the damage to pick it up, though, is the question.
Yes.
There it is. The auto comes in, and Evie will pick up the first blood onto Khan.
This is such a great start for Detonation Focus right now. It's looking so good. And this is a team that you don't expect to have a fiery start against DAMWON Kia early on in a game like this. All it takes is you take away a flash, you group up, you're trying to abuse Canyon when he's being greedy, as Morganas will do when they try to go for the double there, and then you convert that into a play here in top. There is no flash. This is the new Axe Effect replay. You're going to take a look at Khan getting stunned here. There's just no way out. I mean, there's nothing you can do in this situation because you lost your flash in the first minute of the game.
Yeah, and it wasn't the cleanest gank, right? There were a couple of autos it looks like were missed, but as you mentioned, it still was enough, right? He was flashless as level 3. He wasn't respecting the possibility that the rotation could come up here, even though he saw the Udyr on the top side of the map. I mean, there were only 3 ranged minions. He could have let them go, but he's trying to get as much value on this gangplank early on as possible. Doesn't work out for him, and DFM going to get that early win. But as we have seen many times, at least here in the LCK, we could see some crazy strong teams. You think about T1, you think about Gen G, guys teams that have gotten ahead, Humalife, Chovy, and still DAMWON finds a way to win the game. So you gotta really get in there if you're looking to win. As Danny says, looking forward to another DFM upset. A real underdog story could be starting here with the Verizon 5G All Chat. Really cool to see. I mean, as we mentioned, they get that big win over C9, and now anything is possible.
I mean, anything is possible, and you've got to be feeling good as a DFM fan, because this is a good start here against DAMWON Kia. And this is the kind of comp that can really get out of control, too, if you start to get too much of an advantage. And later on is where DAMWON Kia is going to shine, right? You talked about the scaling that they have with this composition, the Xayah, the Victor, and the GP, who's going to be a little bit slower on his way to the scaling in this game. But I'm a little bit, you know, impressed, to be honest, with how well DFMs have really turned this group around. Their first series, there were a lot of nerves, as was mentioned on the desk, right? We saw a little bit of a choke. Arya, one of his first big debuts on an international stage, doesn't play up to expectations. But after that win yesterday, it just looks like this team is playing the best, maybe the best games of League of Legends they've played in their career, back-to-back here, and it's a great start. But later on, that's where DAMWON Kia is going to threaten you, right? Later on, that's where they found their most success. I mean, there's been a few games where DAMWON Kia get behind, even in the LCK, but they're arguably the best team-fighting team in the world, front-to-back on objectives. Yeah. That's where you're really going to have a concern later on, especially with the scaling they have. Yeah,
I mean, you said it, Wolf. This team is so difficult to crack. I mean, they've got the best macro, I think, and it's so difficult. You need to force so many mistakes and get so many wins. You can't just get a first blood, right? You need to take objectives. You need to take over the map, deny vision, and get far enough ahead, and then not make any mistakes yourself. It's not an easy task, right? You see the first blood comes in. The gold's still relatively even, right? The CS numbers are pretty pristine here on the side of DAMWON Kia, and they're not going to go down to just the one kill. Although we do have a play coming in here. Nice sleep over the wall going on to Ghost. That's a lot of damage. In goes Unipod. Immediately gets junked under the turret by Barrel, just slam dunking him in there. And now Arya is left all alone. The double kill is handed over to Ghost as they laugh at the attempt of a gank in the bottom lane.
I mean, this is where you can really start to steal and siphon that power away. Overextending here in the bottom lane. DAMWON Kia are going to give 2 kills over to, or going to gain 2 kills on Ghost, one of those champions we've been talking about, the Xayah, that later on is going to scale very well, but this is all on Barrel. Kazu goes in, but does get pulled, and then they decide to actually chase further, and as soon as Unipon goes over the line, the Barrel is standing in the exact right spot, right? He's able to get the headbutt, and that's the end. Yeah, he's exactly where he needs to be, and Arya sacrificed himself so that Kazu can get out, but I mean, it doesn't get, you know, more over-aggressive than that, really. And it was a nice punish play.
And we have some action here as Khan is going to get flipped over, and, well, he's just dead. That's a 1v1. That's not even Steel coming in here. Showmaker had no effect. Khan just trying to bait in Evie, doesn't realize that he could just die to him, and Showmaker is not able to help him at all.
Yeah, and this is a situation where, you know, oh, once again, Ghost in danger.
All right, he's going to dodge the paddle star here. Still has his ultimate, but now asleep. And with the Urgot coming in, that's going to be the kill on the bottom side. Love the proactivity here from our Japanese team. Detonation FOCUSME coming in and picking up a kill.
I mean, there's just so much. They're just having such a great amount of tempo control over this game because they're sense of where everyone is so strong. Their vision is great here because who's in the top lane? It's Canyon, right? He's at the top. He's actually cleaning up those minions because Khan died again. Still doesn't have teleport. Has to walk back. So you don't want to give up that gold. You're going to give it over to the Morgana. But while you know the Morgana is there, you know you have an opportunity against solo Ghost in the bottom lane to make a play happen. And you're just taking that tempo lead and really furthering it. And look at Unipon now getting so much extra plate gold here on the bottom side of the map as a result. And this is starting to look very, very winnable for Detonation.
Yeah, I mean, you get a start like this. There was the little bit of a mix-up with the gank on the bottom side, but I'd argue that was kind of a super play from Barrel holding on to his headbutt. I mean, everybody knows him from 2019. That's kind of how he made his name on the Alistair. I'm sure there's a bunch of viewers that only really watch the international tournaments, and they remember him from that World's performance. But at the end of the day, Detonation FOCUSME showing some real tenacity. I'm loving this matchup because they're not just falling over like so many teams have done against the Titan that is DAMWON.
Yeah, and even though Khan has an 0-2 start in this game, he's 0-2-2 to be more specific, but he's had a rough start in this lane. He's on a champion that can really scale well later, and it doesn't necessarily mean that because he's behind that he's going to be useless in this game when isn't going to be high impact. He certainly will be later on. This is kind of ironically, jokingly, where a lot of games that Nuguri played in the past where he ended up going down 0-2, but people would say that was his power spike because he would come online after that. Khan kind of living up to Nuguri in that regard in this lane where, again, he's struggling. Some really great trades from Evie. But let's see if he can stabilize here, because that's the big question, right? I mean, because eventually he will have to, and Steel's trying to prevent it.
Yeah, I just love this. The blind pick GP and DAMWON think they're going to get away with it, and Detonation FOCUSME have this whole plan to come in, get the flash. So much pressure up in the top side, and now it's a 1v1, and from downtown, the Urgot ult trying to hit that number. Will he be able to pick it up? He won't, but it doesn't matter because he gets the kill anyway. Steel able to once again shut down Khan in the top lane.
This is, again, you said it in the, from the draft, it was blind, and it was greedy, and they're not going to get away with it, not in this game. Now 3 deaths on Khan, so many resources being committed from Detonation FOCUSME to actually take him out in the top lane, and it's been successful every time they've tried for it. And this is starting to be a very big gap in the top side of the map that is going to really cost DAMWON Kia in some of these mid-game fights, because he's just going to be so much further behind than he's supposed to be.
Yeah, DAMWON known for excellent control, but I feel like Detonation are just kind of making the pace of the game on their terms, right? They have a plan, and they've come in and executed it beautifully early on. And now I'm really curious. You know, everybody knows how DAMWON is kind of this team that even when they get behind, it's really rough to try to stamp them out and get them out of the game and actually pick up wins. I'm curious to see what they're going to do to try to come back here. You see Canyon knows the enemy junglers in the top side. He at least takes the blue, but he's got to do a bit more, as we're going to take another look here at the replay down on the bottom side. Yeah,
just one more look at this. And Kazu kind of isolated here under turret. And, you know, this is just a moment where you could see them try to get something back, right? They try to trade something back, but they're unsuccessful. And for Detonation, this is another great moment, another good crisis management here. You could see Canyon in this game is just struggling to get the kind of value that you expect from him, right? World's MVP. This is the player that everyone is so focused on right now when you talk about who could potentially be not just the best jungler in the world, but the best player in the world. Almost every analyst will put Canyon in the list, if not at the top. Just hasn't been able to find that same level of success when they're behind in tempo in this game.
Yeah, love the confidence with which Steel is playing in this game. Beryl, he's going to get that black shield, and he will be just fine, especially because he's Alistair. Just another layer there. He's not going to get CC'd by any means, so he's able to get out of there. But you could see that DAMWON were trying to set up vision for this dragon, but right now it's all Detonation FOCUSME. It's their area. They have total control over this here. They've denied any vision on the dragon, and DAMWON Kia just select to give it away, and that's going to be Infernal, and the first 2 Drakes go in the way of Detonation.
Yeah. Now, they know that Steel is here, and Khan has been very aggressive about farming on the top side. He hasn't been doing the most exciting gameplay up there in the top lane, but when we did see Evie back, when he didn't have teleport earlier on, he was able to get a lot of pushed on, right? He got a turret plate. He's still able to stay up there stable on the top side, and even though DAMWON Kia are not really able to win skirmishes on the map, when resources are committed bottom lane for Detonation FOCUSME, Khan has caught up in CS, right? He's staying even in CS despite the circumstances, and this is what he needs to do in a game like this where he is 0-3-2, is just try to stabilize and be greedy in the top side of the map when you know Detonation is putting their resources elsewhere. On a dragon, for example, get that CS. Canyon's here.
Gonna get the binding down. Flash is available, and the dash for Evie on the Urgot. He just laughs at them and runs away. Canyon spending about 20 seconds on the top side of the map to make that play happen. They do get the flash out of Evie, but that is just it. Not able to pick up a kill.
Steel is up here now, too. Canyon may have overextended.
Oh, he's kind of alone as well. At least he gets the binding onto the Udyr. That's really going to help him out because it lasts basically 17 years as the Urgot not able to get away from that one, even with the Merc Treads. And so Canyon flirting with danger, but actually will be just fine.
He ends up being just fine. You can see that the mana is definitely going to be massively favoring Khan in the top side, so he can actually stay here, continue to farm, whereas Evie used a lot of his resources to actually try to stay alive there, try to poke it out when he returned to lane. So he has to leave again. So Khan is actually still furthering his lead because he's used his resources in the lane so efficiently. So he ends up being fine. We showed the total gold just moments ago. You could see that Showmaker and Ghost are actually leading that charge right now in this game. Two of the scariest players in the game in terms of late game scaling as well. So even though it looks great for DFM and they have a slight gold lead, let's not forget that the late game is coming, right? And DAMWON Kia, they are down 2 Drakes, but they're getting closer to the ability to straight up fight front-to-back team fights here in this game. And that's when things can turn big time.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about DFM is that they're a team that very much focuses on the early game. A lot of their stats indicate that early on in the game, they love to get leads. They love to do, little things to get themselves ahead early on, but they struggle a little bit more with their team fighting, their late game prowess, and that's where DAMWON really shines, okay? So it'll be interesting to see if they can actually challenge them, especially with a lot of these macro objectives they've already picked up with the 2 Dragons. And take a look at this. I mean, Khan's just going to get bullied once again. Now it's 3-on-1, and I don't think that Gangplank is going to get out of here alive, as he will go down to the Udyr once again. At least Ghost is able to get the turret in the bottom side.
Now, will they make it 2? I don't think they're going to be able to. Canyon is setting up for that potential, though. If they can get 2 turrets for this, it'll absolutely be worth it. And at the same time, sure, you got bottom turret, but Evie is pushing down the top side at the same time, so it's going to be kind of a turret for turret. A lot of damage being done, though, actually, to the second turret here on the bot side by Ghost. And a lot of, response time here kind of missed, I feel like, for DFM. Yeah, they're going to get the top turret, but they've lost so much in both mid and the bottom side. Going to get a Rift Herald for it, as we do see Sleep connect. And, Valdez, I'm looking at this game right now, and it feels like we don't yet know how these team fights are going to look, right? Like, some of the vision control that you can hope for with the Udyr is going to maybe set up some big bubbles. We might see some pick potential. You end up picking somebody on DAMWON Kia's side. If you're able to catch one of the carries, for example, then these team fights can be done front to back, absolutely. I mean, Tristana also scales very well. You have the Magnet Storm here. You have a lot of really good tools to fight front to back as DFM as well. But I think you really need to hit that vision control hard. And so far, it's been a little bit lackluster, all things considered.
Yeah. I mean, you take a look at the map right now. Even though it feels like some of these objectives, I mean, another Rift Herald just went the way of Detonation Focus Me, but the vision right now is totally dominated by the side of DAMWON Kia. They have deep wards in the red side jungle around this dragon, right? They don't have it on the top side of the map. That's not important right now. Obviously, they want to have vision set up for this next dragon fight. They don't want to get Detonation Focus Me on Soul Point here and get into an awkward spot where they have to force a fight later on in the game. So DAMWON really gearing up to take this fight around this dragon.
Speaking of vision, they walk over trying to clear some of that out. Almost got caught. Very scary moment there for stealing Kazu. And you take a look at this, Showmaker a bit zoned on the bottom side. And you can see they are actually thinking about a dive here. They're going to put down the Rift Heralds, which can get this in. They're going to force the TP to come out, and immediately they respond with their own. Yeah, this is still going to be favor to DFM.
4-on-2 right now. Khan is taking a huge amount of damage. And take a look at Showmaker. He's trying to trade one back, but he will not be able to. And down will go Khan as well. The dive is exquisite, and it gets 2 of the DAMWON members out of this fight before it even begins.
DAMWON Kia, it feels like in a lot of ways getting outclassed in terms of the macro. The rotation is there, but they have a matched teleport, right? So it's going to be a teleport for a teleport, and this happens perfectly timed right before the Drake. That's going to be Soul Point going over to DFM. They have so much control over this game right now. We talked about upsets happening at MSI. This could be a second one for DFM here if they can keep this game going. The scaling that is an issue for them later on might not be a problem because they can fight these fights now on their terms with the Drake control they have. They can give up 4 Drakes for DAMWON Kia even looking at a Soul, right? Yeah. With this much control over the game, all they really need to do is tighten up the vision, and it feels like this is their red carpet to walk. But take a look at this again. Showmaker given no resources here whatsoever. DAMWON Kia working on getting vision control on the river at this moment in time. You see Khan comes through, but this turret doesn't last. When the Rift Herald is dropped, it ends up being a double here. 2 kills to none, and it feels like the LJL coach can't even believe it.
Yeah. I mean, this is a dream come true if you can be ahead on DAMWON Kia in the group stage and make a name for yourself in this fashion. It is just, sky's the limit from there on out, right? If you could take a game off of DAMWON, that's for sure. And it feels like so many times in the past. DAMWON Kia, they're such a great team. People respect them so much in the game and outside, of course, but sometimes it feels like they can just get away with stuff, right?
Yeah.
Detonation FOCUSME immediately call their bluff on the teleport. They're like, yeah, okay, good luck with that teleport, buddy. We got one of our own. I mean,
yeah.
we're just going to fight you 4v2. We could have just killed Showmaker, but instead, I guess we'll take both of them, if that's what you want.
I mean, it starts at the beginning of the game, right? You're going to blind pick a GP. We're going to actually put a lot of resources in the top lane. DFM is so good at the laning phase of the game. Hey, Kazu coming through here.
All right, trying to set up a fight here. The GP ultimate is getting a lot of damage down, but where is the follow-up? Showmaker is late to the fight. Ghost slept out of the fight for so long. And now you can see Arya, he's kind of just ruling this river here, looking for sleeps, looking for bubbles, and hits over the wall. He's able to zone them away just like that. So it wasn't looking half bad with the GP ultimate, but the lack of follow-up there, it's not good for DAMWON.
Oh, you cannot be doing this if you don't have vision with, well, with most champions. With Morgana, I guess you can, because you've got a spell shield. But you've got to be really careful about doing that against a team that has such powerful pick potential here. DAMWON Kia, you know, this is not a type of game that DAMWON plays almost ever. You're very rarely behind. I mean, their big power spike in terms of a gold lead is usually around the 20-minute mark. They play a fairly passive game where they don't get a gold lead. They prioritize Drakes over Heralds. In this game, they haven't gotten a single one. They have the fastest first Drake in LCK. It's an insane time. Khan, once again, found here. Can't be greedy in this situation.
It feels like it never ends. Will this be 0-6 for the top lane or the GP? He is really fast. He's going to get that down. He flashes the damage there from the Urgot. And now with two people down on the bottom side, immediately DAMWON Kia call the bluff. They rush at the Baron.
Extremely bold, very risky here from DAMWON.
It's going to be 4v3 for a long time. I don't know if they have the damage here with 21 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. Beryl has to ultimate. They're looking to turn, but it is not clean. Unipon is going to pick up the kill. Arya looking to keep the Baron alive. But actually, it just takes a lot of damage here. Has to be careful. Canyon still looking for the angle.
Kazu.
Over the wall. Kazu's all alone. He's going to go down.
Can they get this Baron? It's going to be so close.
Oh, this is going to go the way of Detonation. They say thank you very much for the leash. And we will run away with that one. We can trade our supports as a sacrifice. We are okay with that. Big Barrel does come out from Khan, but the follow-up is not good enough, and Detonation take one big step ahead of DAMWON.
Now look at this Red Bull Baron power play online now, and Valdez, I mean, this is the type of play that you see from a top region. This is the type of play you see where you go, oh, if I'm a Korean fan, I'm a little bit worried about the LCK this year because the rest of the regions are looking stronger, but this is the LJL we're talking about. Detonation, FOCUSME have had such a fantastic early game. They converted that early game into mid-game leads, and even when DAMWON Kia take a gamble, okay, you're going to spend resources to kill Khan on the bottom side. He's got flash. You instantly run to the Baron. DFM, they respond. They get there in time. They call your bluff, as you said many times. They call your bluff again. They go in there. They prevent you from taking that Baron. They take it away themselves.
Oh, man. Well, you can see Call here. He's going to say, is it happening? Verizon 5G all chat. You know, it certainly feels that way. I do want to kind of play devil's advocate for just a moment. You're still looking at GP, Victor, and Xayah. You're looking at a crazy scaling composition here from DK.
Those items are coming online.
This is a team that doesn't make a lot of mistakes, right? They have made a bunch in this game, and Detonation immediately jumped on them, okay? They're playing an insane game right now, our Detonation, but you have to look at this comp and wonder, is there a way for the scaling to pull out the win here when it's not looking so good for the side of DAMWON Kia? I think we'll have to wait and see. Detonation are playing really, really well, and they could absolutely still win it here. They want to put on the pressure. They want to get this Cloud Soul, and that would be a huge step in the right direction. Take a look at this. The ultimate, it's going to land. I think this is going to be the solo kill, and yes, it will be.
Unbelievable.
Emmy gets another one onto Khan in the top lane.
Terrible time for this to happen, right? He's not just going to leave. He's actually pushing the issue here. DAMWON Kia kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. They're going to look for the Drake here, the first of the game.
Nope. Steel not able to steal the dragon here. But as you mentioned, they're just trying to stop the backs here.
Yeah.
That's really what they want to do.
I mean, this could just be an inhibitor. Steel here is trying to buy as much time as possible. Teleport comes through.
Ooh, the teleport is interesting. I feel like committing to just getting the inhibitor might have been better, but at least with that teleport, they're able to pick up the mid turret.
A little bit greedy. You know, if you end up winning a team fight here off of this teleport, you might be able to get 2 inhibitors off of this. You know, you do have Baron for 30 more seconds here. But yeah, I think that trying to split this up and pushing for the inhibitor might have been the better play. But either way, still a great position to be in here for DFM. DAMWON Kia, they haven't been able to take a single team fight. Why is that? It's because the map is just under DFM's control at every turn. And they're just not able to find those team fights because DFM are finding other objectives on the map. They're getting solo kills, they're getting pushed on in the side lanes. And I'm starting to get a little bit worried here about DAMWON Kia. We are getting later into the game. Those kills are coming online here, so we're going to watch once again. Khan is caught alone, and he tries his best to survive, but there's not much he can do. He doesn't have flash, mind you, so there's just no way to escape here.
Oh, we got another play here. Barrel forced to ultimate, but the damage looking to come out here. The spell shield is huge onto Barrel. But Detonation FOCUSME still looking for that, but there's so much damage on the side as Kazu's going in, just trying to sacrifice himself for the rest of the team, but that might be the first mistake here from Detonation. You gotta be so careful. At least there are no objectives for DAMWON to jump on immediately after.
Yeah, I mean, the excitement here is definitely on the fact that DFM has a lead against DAMWON Kia in terms of the gold, in terms of the Drakes, but in terms of composition, you could argue that DAMWON Kia is ahead at this stage of the game. We've passed the 25-minute mark. We're looking towards a second Baron now, and this composition is really starting to come online. You can look at the items now coming through here for Showmaker. He is becoming very powerful, and if he is able to, in a longer fight, do that extended damage, I mean, his damage throughput is absolutely bonkers, so you have to respect that. And that's why DFM are looking for picks. That's why I think you see Evie look for that teleport, because if they can actually get just one single pick, one single kill, that 5v4 looks a lot more winnable than a straight-up 5v5, especially against one of the best team fighting teams in the world. So, you know, we gotta, I think, put the brakes on the hype train for just a moment here, because this game is a lot closer than the gold graph and those Drakes will have you believe.
Absolutely. Oh man, Ghost a little bit caught out here. He's gonna go into the Feather Storm, but he has to use everything to get out of that, and Steel says, yeah, sure. I'll trade my Flash for Flash, Heal, Feather Storm out of their main carry in Ghost right now on the AD carry. That's it's a pretty good look there from Detonation once again. And yes, DAMWON have some really awesome late game tools, but man, this is so exciting. The fact that Detonation are actually coming in here and challenging the world champion in this manner. And imagine if they could take this win. The upset would be so glorious for Detonation FOCUSME.
I mean, it really would, and this is a huge win, I think, for fans everywhere, no matter what, because even if you're a DAMWON fan, if they come back and win this game, right, if they're able to really solidify themselves in this game and crush the late game, you become impressed with DAMWON Kia for a different reason, right? And this is one of those games that was definitely going to be one of the more memorable ones for the group stage. We've had two insane, great games with the LGL team here in Detonation FOCUSME coming through. Ghost once again isolated. They're looking for these picks. You make these picks happen, you can steal this game away from DAMWON Kia. You've got to be respectful of this, DAMWON. Minute 30 for the Drake.
Ghost is playing with fire. He's got to be real careful sitting in the mid lane, even without his ultimate. On top of everything else he lost in that last fight. And at least he's able to get out of dodge there. Of course, with the Baron coming up here, if anyone gets caught, should be Baron to the other side, especially with the amount of damage here on DAMWON as well, even though they are behind. And let's see what can happen. Total vision control here given over to DFM.
100%.
They're looking to rush this down. We've talked a lot about DAMWON scaling, but the Tristana is also so online right now. 3 items, level 15. Utapon could absolutely carry this game in a late game scenario, especially from ahead.
Showmaker in the choke. I mean, there's a lot of damage potentially here. I think DFM have to back away. There's a route going to connect here from Canyon, but it's not going to be enough to turn the tides. But DFM have to back away from the Baron. And I do really appreciate DAMWON Kia grouping up, looking for this fight. Khan's kind of still getting bullied in the side lane, so you're still losing out on the map, but you prevent the Baron take at least. This is a game where Steel and Evie both are deathless, by the way. 4-0 and 3, 3-0 and 2. On the top side of the map, they have found ultimate control, and now if they can just continue to get those picks here, if they can actually prevent these team fights from being on DAMWON Kia's favor, or rather in their terms, then I think there's still a chance they can close this game out, but the scaling is starting to catch up with them big time.
Yeah. Question is here, if DFM try to rush down the Cloud Soul, can DAMWON Kia just rush the Baron, right? So you can see that there's this tightrope that both teams are walking right now. DFM threatening Baron. They say, sure, take the one Cloud Drake. We don't care. We'll just go straight for the Baron. And now Ghost He's going to take down this Cloud Drake, but take a look at the Baron, already halfway down.
Their time's pretty quick here, but DAMWON Kia arrive.
GP Ultimate is in, but the jungler is pushed away as Kazu will get taken out. Big knockup from Beryl, but he's looking to go down here. Does provide a front line, but now Evie looking to do that damage on the front line. Can he actually do it? No, he can't. He will be shut down by Ghost.
The scaling.
And Ghost and Showmaker are doing so much damage in this team fight to take the kills. After the Baron goes the way of DFM. What an insanely close game this one is.
I mean, such a great bit of peel there from Beryl is sometimes all you need. He dies for his heroic play. He does engage, he does go in, but he buys the time necessary for the carries on DAMWON Kia to do their damage. When you're looking at 6 to 10 champions all in one place and nobody is dying on the side of DAMWON Kia, it's a nightmare with the damage output they have. Look at Beryl go through. He gets the shield coming through from Canyon. The shield keeps him alive a little bit longer, but look at Showmaker, Khan, and Ghost doing so much damage together. DFM can't win these extended fights. They need picks. They need to get those early on in the fight. These fights go long, and it's a disaster here. The Baron is, play here is not going to be great, but it is going to be DAMWON Kia winning the team fight, and now there's still some control on the map here with this Baron for DFM, but DAMWON Kia have taken that first step to proving that their composition has really fully come online now, and it only gets harder from here.
This is just on a knife's edge right now. Oh man, DFM so far ahead with this Baron, but now it's 31 minutes and we're already seeing the beginning stages of the scaling in DK's composition here. As, okay, are we gonna have a fight over the red buff here? There's not much else to fight for, right? With the Baron buff, you would expect with that Red Bull Baron power play, maybe DFM could get something going. They're going to try to find a pick onto Ghost, but they go really, really deep for it. Canyon is going to get clawed out here, and down he will go. So they get the pick onto Ghost, but actually it's Canyon who goes down for it, and now 40 seconds gone for him in the death chamber for Canyon.
Showmaker is just not playing with DAMWON Kia right now. He's off alone in the sideline. He's got teleport, but they know that if he teleports in, he's vulnerable. So they're just abusing the fact that he's not here. Now it's a 5v3.
He's running out of time, and now they're looking for the kill onto Beryl, and they will just snap
detonation
down. Can they get the kill now? The GP ultimate is relatively useless, and Khan just looking to do that damage. Again, it's the 3 carries trying to be the fountain lasers here for DAMWON Kia, but they're up against Baron for 30 more seconds. It'll be at least another inhibitor here, but DFM, detonation, focus me.
They're looking for more. They're looking for more here, potentially. If you overextend as DAMWON Kia, those damage deals, if they're gone, this Nexus goes down.
Canyon respawns, and you can see the hesitation. They're not ready to get in it, and actually they're going to get the pick onto Evie. That's going to be big, and it will immediately stop the push coming in from Detonation Focus Me.
All right, get a little bit bigger than your stomach here, I think. If you're DFM, you see an opportunity, you get another kill, you win this game. You've defeated world champions DAMWON Kia, a team that went 6-0 in the LCK playoffs. A team that has looked so dominant, the favorites to win this tournament. You've already taken down Cloud9, but this is something else. This is something else entirely. We saw some nerves out of this team in their first match on day 1. In this match here, they saw blood in the water. They stayed a little bit too long. But despite the pick there, despite DAMWON Kia's defense, there's still 2 inhibitors down. Still sole point over for Detonation Focus Me. They still have a firm grasp over this game. But you've got to win another team fight like that. You're going to have to get another pick. And I think if DAMWON Kia group up, if Showmaker's not up on the side, if they're not overextended in the jungle like that, I think DAMWON Kia could certainly win the next team fight. But yeah. DFM are they're so good at reading the map. They see these opportunities and they take them.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are having the game of their career potentially here. I mean, it's been a fantastic showing so far from our LJL region victor, Detonation Focus Me, and we'll see if they can close it out, right? It's going to be difficult because all the scaling we mentioned, but all of that scaling has such amazing wave clear as well.
Yes.
So you feel like, okay, we got 2 inhibitors down, we're 1 step away, but then Victor does a line laser, and then Zaya comes in and pulls the feathers back, and it's all gone, right? So if you don't have Baron, I think it's going to be difficult to end this game.
Valdez,
yeah.
I would argue even in this upcoming fight with DAMWON Kia grouped up, I think you might even want to give this Drake and try to look for something else on the map. Look at where Evie is right now. They're trying to push this mid wave back. Evie rotating in. This is going to be such a hard Drake fight to take. It's not going to be the Cloud Soul for DAMWON Kia. They do push them away. They do get mid control. DAMWON a little bit actually tense here. Not actually going to commit.
They're the ones that are giving up the Drake.
Wow.
They say, you know, it's Cloud Soul, it's big, but we just have too much pressure on the map right now. If we get picked, we lose the game. So they're just going for it. Heavy under the turret. He's so tanky right now and does an insane amount of damage as well. So you can see that even against the two of them, but that's the root, actually. Heavy a little bit caught out here. Now with the Black Shield, might just be the kill onto the Urgot. Big Magnet Storm does come in from Kazu, but there's no follow-up here from DFM. Beryl getting in there, but now Kazu once again is isolated, and that is a huge pick here for DAMWON as they buy themselves some time.
This is so good for DAMWON, but it was so scary for just a moment there. Look at the Nexus turret under fire here, as this is not something you see with DAMWON Kia very often. Usually when they lose games, it's off of late game team fights when both teams are on even footing. We're talking 40-minute, 45-minute plus games where something gets a little bit volatile. You see the pick come through, but this is never usually what you see is a team that's actually ahead in macro, ahead in structures at this stage of the game for DAMWON.
Anthony says with Verizon 5G all chat, Arya dominates on the Zoe and DFM take a 40-minute game. That is his prediction. We're getting close, right? We're less than 5 minutes away. And within that time, we will have Elder Drake spawn, and this Baron will probably be taken.
We've seen so many one-sided games in MSI so far. I mean, Elder Drake's not something you see, and I'm very excited that it's this series, or this game even, this best of one, we're gonna see it in Canyon.
They get the sleep on a Showmaker, that's pretty big, but still trying to get in there. The damage is good. Beryl trying to frontline here, and he will be able to survive. You see the Chaos Storm onto Evie, and man, this is so close. One pick to either side could have been the end of it. Arya is getting some insane picks with his skill shots right now on the Zoe.
So greedy.
And maybe Anthony was correct. We'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see. This is greedy to try to take this Baron. They're not going to commit. Khan does toss his barrage on top of it. They're able to get a little bit of extra confirmation that they stepped off for just a moment. But this is so scary. If you fight in the choke point against Showmaker, you're going to have very serious problems because his damage is insane at this stage. DAMWON Kia, on the other hand, they can't just sit back and watch. They're going to have to commit eventually. Look at all the wards. They don't have vision.
Here they come. Steel and Unipon are taking a decent amount of damage, but I think this Baron will be theirs, and DAMWON will give it away. Detonation Focus Me take their third Baron of the game.
I mean, 3 Barons, it's insane to see that, but it's also DAMWON Kia not in control of objectives. This is something you very rarely see from them, and I keep highlighting it because this team has had a 16-2 regular season. They lost to Gen G, right? One of their rivals in the tournament, and dropped a game to Fred at Brion, right? A pretty big upset early on in the season. Yeah. They went 6-0 in playoffs. They have had the best Drake control in the LCK. They've had the fastest first Drakes. In this game, they're behind. DFM have really just taken the tempo advantage to its maximum potency, its maximum potential. In a game like this, it doesn't feel like DAMWON Kia have the better scaling comp because they're struggling to even use it in every single one of these fights where choke points are controlled by DFM, vision control goes to them. There's control of the map with these super minions. And DAMWON Kia are playing almost, it feels like, with one hand tied behind their back. Still winnable. One team fight is all it takes to turn this game on its head.
Yeah, okay, DFM are just going for it, but Beryl is looking for the engage. Steel's got to be careful there on that front line. Oh, huge damage now onto Ghost. He might just be out of the fight. And from downtown, that Black Shield was huge to keep him alive. Unbelievable. But it is still enough damage to push them away. Steel is going in, and he might just go down the engage.
Magnet Storm.
The Magnet Storm is not enough, actually. The turnaround is coming out from DAMWON. It's actually happening. As now, the Gravity will come in, and that's going to be the stun, the triple kill now, and Arya is being taken down. The teleport to the mid-game, or the mid lane rather, and now DAMWON Kia might have just come back.
Look at the faces of the LGL players here for Detonation Focus Me. They know this is the second time they were in the base of DAMWON Kia. They saw blood in the water, they saw an opportunity, but they overextend. Arya going to try to buy time here as best as he can, anything he can. I mean, they've got Baron minions here, but it is going to be so difficult to defend. Everyone's on top of mid inhibitor right now.
He goes down, and
a huge overextension.
Does it again. They can't keep getting away with this, but they do it again here in 39 minutes. As you can see the faces here on the DFM players, they were so close to making potential history here and taking down 2 major regions in a row. But that is not what is going to happen, as DAMWON Kia will get their 3rd win and